Nintendo has the most successful gaming platform going at the moment. Their console sales creep ever closer to the all-time record, and their games continue to sell in the tens of millions on hardware which is outdated graphically when it was released and is in the twilight of its run. Despite the roaring success of the Switch platform, there are those who claim it's PC which has won the so-called console war. Microsoft and Sony have turned away from pushing their gaming hardware and have adopted the strategy of making their software available to as many people as possible. As I pointed out previously, this is a net positive for the consumer and a good strategy for those companies who are focusing on the success of their software. The sacrifice made in this case is your hardware sales are being cannibalized in the pursuit of being the Netflix of gaming. Still, PC and inevitably Steam will be getting all these games. Most of these games aren't going to be on Switch, so this would mean PC is won, right?
Not so fast, my friend.
There are some 18,000 games being added to Steam just this year. But what games are these? How well are they selling? How much are they being sold for? Most people couldn't name 500 games for any one platform, or even overall. That many games being made for a platform the majority of people only play a fraction of a percent of is a nothing burger. You have people bragging about how many Steam games they played for $5. Meanwhile, Super Mario Party Jamboree is set to be another 20 million seller for Nintendo within the next 24 months at a full $60. People telling you selling consoles can no longer be done looks silly when Nintendo is doing just that and are poised to do it again with the Switch 2. Sony and Microsoft were defeated and are now running to PC to save them. I'll say it again, this isn't a bad strategy for them and it's the best thing they could do, but the fact they got kicked out of the console race by Nintendo and PC is their break glass in case of emergency strategy doesn't give a win to PC. It certainly benefits PC, but it doesn't put them over Nintendo, which is leading the industry with this year's Jeff Keighley Award winner being a shameless 3D Mario clone, and everybody and their mama wanting to make a handheld gaming device. Everyone is following the leader, and that leader is Nintendo.
And then last and not least, and you want to stay for this one because I didn't plan to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know, platformers, PlayStation 30 years, and we made a platformer, which is great. It's very nostalgic and fresh at the same time. But let's not forget that even before PlayStation, there were people making platformers. I remember I was a kid in 1989, Christmas, and I got a gray box. There was a game packed in. It was called Super Mario Brothers, and it was really, really great. So we are in Japan, we're in Tokyo, they are in Kyoto, but I want to pay tribute to the company who really put platformers and showed us innovation and quality consistently and inspired us to actually make the game that we made. So that's also, and I've managed not to mention them, have you noticed? But you all know who they are, and many other companies that have been inspired over the years, so that's really, really important. And we want to pay tribute to them tonight. So from the bottom of our heart, thank you so much.
What all these developers would like to do is put their games on a Nintendo console, but their games won't run on the Switch, and they won't run on the Switch 2. Winning console generations without major third-party system mover games is par for the course for Nintendo. They did it with the Switch. No one can name a major third-party system mover for the Switch. As I explained in a previous video on whether or not Nintendo needs third-party games on your platform are a benefit to your gaming business as developers pay you to put their games on your platform. However, Nintendo has never needed third-party support to sell their consoles. PC has had some big hitters on their platforms like Elden Ring, Black Myth Wukong, and Palworld, but not as many as the Switch with its vastly inferior hardware. Nintendo has proven many times over how bleeding-edge graphics don't make the game. And this is why PC, while it will be a very strong platform going forward, will not be able to overtake Nintendo, as the PC will have the graphics, but it won't have the games. Mario Wonder went toe-to-toe with Spider-Man 2 and won with both games releasing on the same day. Black Myth Wukong's tremendous success was only a repeat of what Tears of the Kingdom did a year before. The bigger issue with everything going to PC is everything will now be live service and physical media will be gone. Nintendo and Sega are game development studios. Sony and Microsoft are not. Neither of these companies have ever been concerned with the integrity of the gaming industry. Their concern is about making money at all costs. Neither is able to make a profit selling you games. They will now sell you a solution to your free-to-play game, while creating more problems in said game to sell you solutions to. All of gaming is heading to PC, but this might not be good in the long run. Some talk about ballooning gaming budgets. Nothing or no one forced anybody to make $200 million games. Games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Smash Ultimate, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Tears of the Kingdom cost a fraction of that while selling way more than most of these huge budget titles. These bleeding edge graphics come at a cost. We reached diminishing returns a long time ago. All these games look the same now. There's no more creativity. Everybody is trying to be the next COD, Fortnite, or another Elden Ring. These bleeding edge graphics mean there's no differentiation in art style and gameplay. Everything is by the numbers, which is why the internet raves about indie games. AAA games have become cut and paste stale due to the fact they're being made by people who don't actually care about video games. They're soulless corporations churning out content for cash. Hope you enjoy pay-to-win games because every game is going to be just that. Iwata was a prophet. He saw all this coming during the Wii era. We're here now. We're on the verge of another gaming crash due to corporate greed and creative bankruptcy. Another content creator discussed how there are free-to-use graphics engines, which gives people with little to no money the ability to create games. While this may be good for those people with an idea but not a lot of funds to get their vision off the ground, this is overall very bad. Video games in the US crashed in the 80s because too many people who should not be in the industry had easy access to get in and start making shovelware slop. History is repeating itself when someone with no real gaming ideas can rip off an idea, slap something together with microtransactions, and make money with little to no effort or expenditure on their part. When you lower the bar, you lower the standard, and you lower the quality. The great migration to PC is the McDonald's hamburgerization of video games. Greater access to crappier games. The response to Nintendo whipping everyone's tail isn't to make better games, but to make their mediocre games more accessible. Like a McDonald's hamburger, the game doesn't have to be great. It just has to be available and decent enough.